What's up, everyone? Welcome to JK Sports. I'm your host, Kevin Humphreys. Joining me today is Jack Feldman, Feldman Jumpers. Jack Feldman, what's going on, man? How's it been?
It's been good. Nothing too crazy. Just a bunch of sports. Football's back, which has been fun. So can't complain. Just working sports. That's all I do.
Yeah, absolutely, man. We're approaching the best time of year where college football's starting to peak. We're getting into conference play. NFL's starting to look like the NFL, where it's no longer bad, bad offense and defense in preseason games. Playoff baseball's right around the corner. We got NBA media days starting in the next week.
Crazy.
So man, we're getting the sports equinox time, and I can't wait.
Let's go.
But with that being said, let's get into some NFL. What were some games, or what was the game that stood out to you last Sunday?
I mean, it's got to be Giants Cowboys. That was an absolute shootout. Russell Wilson looked amazing. Looked like his prime self, which was fun to watch. Dak Prescott threw the ball 52 times. I mean, it's everything you want in an actual football game. Um, it's like video game numbers. You never run the
Yeah,
ball in video games.
yeah,
Let's be honest. So it's just fun to watch these type of games.
yeah, man. It was super fun. The both teams' game plans were throw the ball to neighbors and throw the ball to CeeDee Lamb and George Pickens, and that's some freaking fun football to watch. Russell Wilson turned back time for 4 quarters, but overtime the clock struck midnight and he turned back into a pumpkin. So that was pretty crazy. But I do have one question from that game. Is Brandon Aubrey ruining football? Because if you're able to kick a field goal from that far, man, that it's just a completely different playing field when you can make field goals from 60, 70 yards, man.
It's like literally the whole field is starting to become a field goal. You
Yeah,
literally don't even
exactly.
have to be on your own field, your own side of the field.
Right. Right.
It's
Yeah.
just absolutely insane.
Yeah, I mean, I've heard different people debate if he's a first round pick. He's obviously, if you were to redraft the NFL, like all
Mhm.
the players in the league, he's not a first round pick. But I think if you had a field goal kicker like him, where it's an automatic 3 points and all you have to do is get past the 50, I mean, it's just different, man. And if the math was changed, like if it was 4 points, man, all you have to do every single time, you just get to the 50-yard line, you kick that ball through the uprights, and then play defense and do it again, man. So
Mhm.
yeah, it's crazy to see. We'll see if the NFL does anything to doctor the footballs like they did in baseball. S- s-
That'd be
see
crazy.
see if we can juice the balls or get the balls to not fly as far. So we'll
That's a
we'll, we'll
fact.
see if that's coming, because at some point I mean, it's getting ridiculous. But there were a lot of crazy games. Like as a Cardinals fan, I almost turned the game off when it was 27-3, and all of a sudden in like 5 minutes it felt like the Panthers had a chance to win. So I
Mhm.
mean, that game was crazy. Definitely made me concerned as a Cardinals fan, but just glad we won. The Bucks Texans game was really entertaining. Baker Mayfield's a stud, man. I think, you know, he's one of my favorite quarterbacks to watch in the league. I'm not sure if he's that good, but man, I would go to war and fight for that guy. So, but yeah, any other games that stood out to you?
Yeah, those were kind of the key ones. I liked watching the Lions because I'm a Packers
Oh
fan,
yeah.
and we were able to beat up on the Lions week 1. I know it's super early, but to see them go and thrash on the Bears, it gave me a lot of confidence in the Packers, and I just like watching the
Yeah.
Bears lose.
Yeah.
So, all in
Well,
all,
what
I mean, it was a good week for me.
Yeah, man, what made you feel better watching the Lions look like the Lions again, and knowing that you dominated them, or beating not the Redskins, the Commanders, and shutting down Jaden Daniels?
Right. I mean, I still think the Commanders still have a lot to prove.
Yeah.
Uh, they're not a top tier team to me personally.
Uh-huh.
I mean, they're young and upcoming. I think they're the Lions of 3 years ago.
Right.
So I think that's where it could be. And so just watching how the Lions were the Lions, again, they probably had another extra week to get the system under their belts and whatnot. So, I mean, I'm sure if we played the Lions again, it wouldn't be as dominant of fashion as it was
Right.
week one, but just seeing them come up and drop 52 on a team, any team in the NFL, I mean, it's good to see that we only gave up 13 points to that same offense.
Yeah, man. I mean, the wide receivers are supposed to be good. Terry McLaurin's he hasn't
Mhm.
been doing great, but I mean, Debo, I mean, if there were any questions about Fat Debo during the offseason, I think he's answered those in the first 2 weeks. He's still Debo Samuel, and the fact that you guys were able to shut down that offense was
Right.
very impressive. So, but yeah, let's fast forward to this weekend. A lot of games again, but what matchup has piqued your interest the most?
I don't know what my interest is with the Lions, but Lions Ravens is another massive game this week. I think these are both playoff teams very
Yeah,
easily. I love watching Lamar Jackson and that whole offense roll.
yeah,
And then it's the Lions offense. I mean, they just have weapon after weapon after weapon. It doesn't matter who catches the ball for the Lions, you're going to see a big play. And so I think if you like offense, go watch that Monday night game.
yeah. I agree 100%. I don't know if it'll be the same theatrics as Bills Ravens, but as far as the up and down pace of that game was, I think it's gonna be very similar.
Hmm.
And I'm excited, man. I think it'll be interesting to see. The NFC teams typically struggle to defend Lamar Jackson just because they never see him. And
Right.
I think he has like a 90 something percent win percentage against the NFC. Just something ridiculous like that because they just don't ever see a quarterback that fast. So I'm interested to see because the Lions are good. Aiden, that defense is finally healthy. Like last season, Aiden Hutchinson gets hurt early. I'm excited to see what if Aiden can shut down that, not shut down, but slow down Derrick Henry and Lamar Jackson because he's going to be in there. They're going to be doing a lot of mesh, and he's going to be one of the key players in that game. So I'm excited to see that matchup for sure. A little sicko matchup that I'm interested in seeing is Bengals Vikings. Coming into the season, man, like both of these teams thought like if things go our way, we're Super Bowl contenders, right? Right?
Yeah, but how can you be excited to watch Jake Browning play the Vikings?
Exactly, because both of these teams, even though the Bengals are 2-0, everyone was saying like, "Oh, Joe Burrow's like 1-9 in the first 2 weeks of the season in his career." Well, guess what? The Bengals got off to a 2-0 start. So everyone should be happy, right?
At
The
what
Minnes
cost, though? You just lost Joe Burrow for the season.
Right, exactly. But both of these teams, backup quarterbacks, I think this game is gonna be crazy. I don't think it's gonna be necessarily like it's not gonna be good football, but it's gonna be crazy football. So I'm excited to see what happens because we got it's Carson Wentz versus Jake Browning, dude. Like the picks, both of these guys are likely to just like start running backwards and take like a 25-yard sack. Like this game is going to be balls to the walls, crazy, not good football, but yeah, I'm excited to see that one. In the Another one that I'll throw in real quick, the NFC West is 7-1 this season, and two undefeated teams, San Francisco and Arizona, are going against each other. They've both beat up on bad teams, quite frankly. So that's a game that I'm interested to see. But again, it's not Brock Purdy, it's Mac Jones. So, already week 3 in the season, man, we're already down like three of the best. JJ's not a good quarterback, but yeah. So it'll be interesting to see.
Mhm. Yeah, I agree all the way. Every year I'm like, I don't think that we've seen this many injuries in such a short amount of time to start the season. But I say that every year, and so again, it's just like what it comes down to depth, which is crazy
Yeah.
because no one ever thinks about depth in football. It's more of like a basketball thing, but in football, it really is like, and truthfully, like Jake Browning is probably the best backup in the NFL.
He's one of the best.
So
I
I can
mean,
see it.
I have a take on that later, but
Okay.
we'll get to that in a minute. But speaking of depth, there's a team in the AFC East that's down there. Best two receivers. They have a washed up Simpy boy at tight end and Patrick Mahomes, man. So the Chiefs started the season 0-2. And what we can overreact, but we don't have to. Like, what's your take on the Chiefs? Are they dead? They started 0-2. Are they dead, or is this just a good team getting off to a slow start?
I've gone back and forth with this like all week. Like I genuinely do not
Yeah,
know where to put the Chiefs because I think the Chargers are very good this year. The Broncos are young and good this year. Um, I'm not high on the Raiders, but some people are. And so like
yeah,
that whole division is stacked.
yeah.
But it's the Chiefs. And so I will not press that panic button until week 7
Okay,
because that's when Rasheed Rice comes back. And so if they win that week 7 game,
yeah,
even if they're 0-6, they could easily go 12-6
yeah.
and make the
It's
playoffs.
true.
And so that's where I like if I'm a Chiefs fan, like I'm obviously you want to win games, but I'm looking at that Raiders Chiefs game week 7
Yeah,
and that's when I'm like if we lose that game, then we're really in trouble. And I don't think we're going to do anything this year. So,
yeah, yeah. I agree 100%. If you're a Chiefs fan, I definitely am not expecting I definitely wouldn't be expecting them to finish, in first or second place in the AFC or anything like that. But as far as making the playoffs, like with they're kind of the Warriors and the Cavs and the
mhm.
Spurs where they've just been doing it so long, like for them, they just need to get into the playoffs as healthy as they can be, and then they'll take it from there. So there's no need to panic. The only thing that would have me concerned is that Chargers team looks legit. Like year 2 John Harbaugh is a real thing. Like they've definitely taken a big leap even though they lost one of their best offensive linemen, excuse me. Like they still look awesome. They're still running the ball. Justin Herbert looks like, kind of the guy that we've been waiting for him to be consistently. Quentin Quentin Johnston isn't dropping passes anymore.
Matchup ball.
And and so, like, all of a sudden, they're super explosive on offense. So, yeah, if anything scares me, it's that there's a team in the division that is likely to win the division that's not the Chiefs. And so, but the Chiefs will be okay. No need to panic yet. Obviously, Mahomes is having to do more on the offensive side. And so, um, I wouldn't panic, but honestly, I just want the Chiefs to the Chiefs changed their entire philosophy a few years ago, and it helped them win Super Bowls, but it meant Patrick Mahomes didn't look like early Patrick Mahomes anymore, where he was just playing ball control and not scoring a whole lot. I would really love it if the Chiefs would try and get back to throw for 5,000 yards again, but we'll see. It won't be this year, but hopefully in the future we can see Patrick Mahomes look like unlocked Patrick Mahomes again.
Right. I mean, like, again, just to reiterate, like, you played the Chargers in LA, and
Yep.
then you had to play the defending champs at home.
Yeah.
So, I mean, in reality, you had your best receiver out for both games
Yep.
and essentially your second best for the whole game for
Yep.
both the games. And so, like, in
And
reality, like, were
yeah.
you even supposed to win these games? No. And you were one
Yeah.
score away both times.
Yeah. And
And
Travis
so,
Kelsey's dropping balls too. So
exactly. And
that
so,
hurts.
even this week, I expect them to beat the Giants on the road
Yeah.
Sunday
Yeah.
night. So, I mean, I'm not panicking one bit if I was
Yeah.
any sort of Chiefs fan, which I'm not.
Yeah. Yeah. If they lose to the Giants, I think you take the panic button out of the storage closet and just like, set it off to the side. But yeah, no need to panic yet. But yeah, in other NFL news, Tom Brady was seen in the coach's box for the Raiders, and the drama is that he's also a broadcaster on Fox, and so in these meetings, people are hypothesizing that Brady is in these meetings getting all of the other coaches' tips and tricks and breakdowns, and then stealing information. So, what say you, Jack Feldman? Is this is this fair that Tom Brady gets to be in all these meetings, or is it foul?
I think people are just bored and they just want to make any news article that they can muster. So, I mean, I don't really see the underlying message to this. I don't really care what Tom Brady's doing. And so
Yeah,
like I just think people are trying to make whatever message they want. I don't think
yeah,
anything's happening cuz I just don't. I like to see the glass half full. I think he's just everywhere anytime that he can be because he just loves the game of football.
yeah. And here's the thing, like if Tom is taking these inside notes and using it to his advantage and he's having weekly meetings with the offensive coordinator. Um and if that is happening, guess what? You can lead him off the scent if you want, if you're an opposing team. You can give him the double birds, man, and say, "Hey, guess what, Tom? You can sit in these meetings, but we ain't saying nothing." So
Yeah.
you can do the old Mike Leach and give him a fake playbook. Might make him look a little silly calling your game, but might help. So
Yeah.
we'll see. Yeah, it's a whole lot about nothing. It is. I think it is fascinating to look at and kind of see what's going to unfold with that. And I would love to know how. I would love to hear the opposing team's perspective of how they handle those meetings. But other than that, like if you're dumb enough to just tell Tom Brady you're everything, knowing he's a Raiders owner, like that's on you, man. Like you gotta have more common sense than that. So yeah, I don't think it's that big of a deal. So yeah,
We'll see.
yeah.
We'll see.
All right. And then next up, we're gonna debut a segment. This is called JK Sports. Some people might think it's because our names are Jack and Kevin, but personally, I think it's more like a JK haha podcast, more than anything. So I'm gonna debut this segment by giving my just kidding take, a take that probably won't happen and definitely isn't true, but I think would be awesome to see. And so this is my take. Joe Burrow, as we stated before, likely out for the season with a turf toe. And then you have Aaron Rodgers on the Pittsburgh Steelers. And so if I was Aaron Rodgers and I knew that this was my last season, so money doesn't matter, nothing matters, right? I
Okay.
am tanking. I am tanking my way out of Pittsburgh. Like I am doing everything I can. Everything that people complained about, like he's moody, he's this and that. I'm 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 throwing next game out, I'm throwing 5 picks and saying, guess what? I don't want to be here anymore. Cut me. I'm going to Cincinnati, baby. I'm throwing to Jamar Chase. I'm throwing to T. Higgins. That I know I told Tomlin that I was here and I was committed, but guess what? I just showed up like a month ago. So you can't really complain. Just cut me, let me go. Let me go put on orange and black and let me go throw touchdowns to Jamar Chase and T Higgins. If I was Aaron Rodgers, that's what I would do. It's never going to happen, but if I was him, boy, man, I would be salivating looking at that receiving room
I
and
would, yeah.
and dreaming what I could do with those boys.
That is nuts. Just so y'all know, this is the first time I've heard this take. And so I honestly just don't know what to say at that point because this is nuts. But honestly, like if Aaron Rodgers really wanted to do something and play probably some of the best football that he can offer at 41 years old, it's not a bad path.
Look, and here's the thing too is he thought he was coming to a place where he was going to be able to win, playing like he thought the Pittsburgh Steelers were going to have a good defense. And let me tell you this. That defense has taken a big step back. And so, to think and there's still time. There's still time for Pittsburgh to right the ship defensively. But if you're looking around at the AFC and you say, man, our defense isn't good, and I don't have the skill talent around me to win a Super Bowl the same way that the Ravens do and the Bills do. And honestly, the Cincinnati Bengals do have the skill talent on offense to win a Super Bowl. Like if and he has nothing to lose. Like, if you're a different quarterback and if it's Caleb Williams out there saying like, get me to Cincinnati, that's he's got a whole lot more to lose. Trying to put up a stink, but it's Rodgers. He's got nothing left to prove other than trying to play his best football for one more
Yeah,
season.
that'd be that'd be sick.
All
I
right.
am fully on ship on that one. So let's give Aaron a call and let this happen.
Yeah, man. If Aaron hasn't thought of this, I will take full credit for this one.
Shoot him a text.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, you have any you have any spicy takes that you want to drop on us, Jack?
I don't got anything after that one. We'll let that one. We'll let that one cook this week, and I'll come
All
back
right,
next week with something good.
sounds good, man. It's a good one to start out on. I expect some heat from you next week, though.
Oh, you'll get something good.
Okay, all right, and then a couple more things to hit on the NFL. Is there a You know, there's a lot of discussion about 0-2 teams and what teams to buy and 2-0 teams that might not appear to be as good as their record states so far. So, Jack, what 2-0 NFL team are we fading?
Um, I mean, my first thoughts are the Bengals, but I think everyone's fading them just because they have their best player. I mean, their quarterback
Yeah.
out for the season for 3 months. But the other team is the Colts. I've never
Okay.
been high on the Colts.
Even though they haven't punted, Jack, and
I don't
you're out
care.
on the Colts.
I don't care.
All
I
right.
think Daniel Jones is playing out of his mind, and he's not going to play out of his mind for 18 weeks. Even 9 weeks is a stretch. So I don't believe in the offense. I don't believe in the defense. I have yet to see the only player that I love on that team is Jonathan Taylor.
Yeah, he's
And
a
they played
beast.
a sorry Dolphins team, and they played
The Broncos.
the Broncos.
Yeah.
So, I mean, good win
And
for the
the first field goal did miss.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So,
So,
I don't love them yet. I know some people are just all on the Daniel Jones hype train, but I
yeah.
mean, I don't think they hot take, maybe I don't think they finish above 500 even.
Okay, okay, that is spicy. It's not
Just
it's not it's
just
not
throw that
Aaron
out there real quick.
it's not Aaron Rodgers to Cincinnati spicy, but it's still that's a good take. For me, my 2-0 team that I would fade, and it's really just health, honestly, at this point. It's the 49ers. They played a Saints team that just isn't that good. And in week one, they didn't look impressive either. So I'm guessing, or so I would take the 49ers and say, I'll probably fade them. I think that the Rams and the Cardinals and the Seahawks probably, finish with at least the same or better records and then the season just because they're they're just so beat up. They're an old team. They're gonna be injured. So I would fade them. If everything goes right, I look stupid, but right now the 49ers are the team that I circle.
I still love their defense. We'll see how they look against the Cardinals this week, but
Yeah,
we'll see what happens. I like the Niners just because Fred Warner's the leader, the
of
linebacker
course, man.
leader. You gotta cheer for him, but that is true.
And
they don't have a single guy on offense.
Yeah, and Joey Bosa or Nick Bosa, excuse
Nick
me. Yeah, Nick Bosa's, you know, he's
one.
hated by many, but super good.
He is. Yeah.
But yeah, and then obviously we talked about the Kansas City Chiefs already. Is there an 0-2 team outside of the Chiefs that you would buy stock on right now?
I would buy stock on the Bears if
Okay,
they were on any other division. It
okay,
is unfortunate that they're playing in a absolutely loaded division, and for that, you can't have all 4 teams, and I
yeah,
think the Packers, Vikings, Lions are all much better than the Bears,
yeah,
unfortunately, because I think the Bears are up and coming. I think they're very good. I just think they drew the short end of the stick and got put in the absolutely probably the best, definitely the best division in my opinion, from top to bottom, which sucks for them. But other than
So,
them, the
so,
Bears it would be. Oh yeah, sorry, what?
so you like Caleb Williams? Like you think so? So if you like the Bears, like I'm with you. I think they have great skill talent. Like I love their receivers, tight ends, running backs. Defense has kind of been up and down, but they should be decent ish on defense. But really, it's just like, do you believe that Caleb can get it done or not? Do you think he's
I think he can eventually. Again,
okay?
it's just the at what year can they get over that hump of bad quarterback play? I
Yeah,
don't think Caleb Williams is there yet, but I think he
yeah,
can become that type of quarterback.
yeah. Okay. Well, you that's definitely out there. There's a lot of Caleb Williams hate out there. Not all because of what he does on the field, but there there is there is a lot of hate out there. For me, the 0-2 team that I would buy, this is, and I don't like saying it, but I think I buy the Giants, man. Like they they figured out, hey, we should get the ball to Malik Neighbors as much as possible. And I do think, even though they gave up a million points to the Cowboys, I do think that defense is going to be good. I really do. I think that defense is going to be good at some point. If it's not good, this is a stupid take, but and if we get to see Jackson Dart this year, maybe it's an improved team. But I think the defense is going to be good. I think offensively, like they figured out, hey, we need to get the ball to Malik Neighbors. It was Russell Wilson's first game playing with his new teammates week one. And so, to just overreact and say the season's over already, which to be fair, it did look very bad, but they moved the ball up and down the field in that game. They just had a disaster of a time trying to finish in the red zone. So, I would buy stock on that team, probably finishing about 500.
Mhm.
But if
Okay.
you start 0-2 and you finish 9-8, like I think that's a pretty good season. So,
That's true.
yeah,
I definitely agree. I think the Giants have everything except a nice schedule because 5 of their
true.
next 6 games, it's Chiefs, Chargers, then you play the Saints, then you got Eagles, Broncos, Eagles. That is just
That
absurd,
is that's murderer's row.
and
Makes
you easily go 1-8, which
yeah,
sucks for them.
yeah. Yeah,
So
we'll see. But here's the thing. I I like them. I like them to get a win against the Eagles, at least one, or I like them to get a win against one win against the Eagles. I like that. Probably not against the
oh,
Chiefs, but like as there's a lot of 0-2 teams out there, and I look at and I'm like, I just don't think you'll be in games with teams like you're
oh,
just
that's
done
fair.
from the start, right? Like the Saints. The Saints are gonna win 3 games this season.
If
But
that,
the Giants, I feel like, are actually a good enough team that they can beat the good teams, and so
that's fair.
but they do have an
It's a
absolute
brutal
gauntlet.
stretch.
Yeah. But,
And then
if
second half, you got Lions, Patriots, Commanders. Like, it's just It
Yeah,
sucks
yeah,
to be a Giants fan this year.
yeah. Same thing with the Bears. They might actually be good. They're just also play the Eagles twice, and they play the Lions and the Chiefs. And gosh, dude, it's a brutal schedule. So yeah. Um, we're getting through these rapid fire. Jack, you got a Super Bowl pick for the viewers.
Yes, my Packers were looking amazing right now. We actually have a defense. We can actually throw the ball decently this year, not
Let's go.
horribly. Still don't love Jordan Love. Still don't love the price tag we're paying him
Yeah,
to make these throws. But we have Michael Parsons. We actually spent money, which is exciting.
right.
So all in all, I think Packers get there. Just because of the defense, they've looked dominant on both sides of the ball. Even when they have crap offensive weeks, which they definitely will have.
Yeah,
Um, I mean, the defense will just carry them, I think. And then I think they go up against a loaded offense in the Ravens. I
okay.
don't think we're going to see anyone else, honestly. Like, just the way that I've seen both of those teams play is they can just get it done in multiple different ways, which is what you need to make a run in the playoffs. I mean, teams will be able to take away your first and second option, but then we saw the Ravens week 1 rely super heavy on Derrick Henry. Week 2, he had like 10 rushing yards.
Yeah,
So it's just cool. And that's why I picked both of them. Is just I looked at the teams and I'm like, the Packers don't rely on one thing. Ravens don't rely on one thing.
yeah,
So that's how I came to it.
yeah. I think that's great analysis. The Packers definitely don't seem like they have weakness, and the Ravens' only weakness is getting up by a lot of points and then not being able to finish off teams. So, but I would take the team that gets up by a lot of points 10 out of 10 times. Just got to seal the deal. For me, I went a little different. I actually, and this is dependent on Matthew Stafford's health, but I like the Rams out of the NFC. I think they sneaky have like just as good of a roster as the Packers do. That defense is filthy. They have Puka, they have Devonte Adams, who's been looking great so far this season. So I think that they have the winning formula. They were the only team last year that got even close to beating the Chiefs. McVay, I don't think I mean, there are other good coaches in the NFL, but I think McVay's the best. Like in terms of getting guys to buy in on his system, motivating guys, strategically. Like last year, he said, you know what, we could get a better seed, but we're gonna rest, and then they came out and they kicked the Vikings butts in that wild card game. So he I think he knows this team super well, and I think in a game against Jordan Love, I'm taking Matthew Stafford, and that's basically what it came down to for me is NFC Championship game. You know, I'll take Stafford, who has played in the NFC. I'm not worried about Stafford in cold weather. He was playing in the NFC North for half of his career, so he'll be fine. Puka, um, guy out of Utah, he'll be fine playing up there. So yeah, I'm not worried about them. And then the team that I have coming out, it's just a coin flip between the Bills and the Ravens. Josh Allen, I think, is a better quarterback than Lamar Jackson, so I just lean there. But as we saw week 1 and last season, like when those two teams play, which they inevitably will, it's gonna be fireworks and it's gonna go down to the wire. So okay. And then, just to wrap up our NFL, Jack, do you have any fantasy players that we should be buying or selling? That
Yeah, I have a couple. So quick buy. Um, I won't go super far into this, but Rasheed Rice seems
Okay.
like a little interesting, but I would trade for Rasheed Rice if the team that has Rice is 0-2
Okay.
because they're going to be desperate. You're going to be able to get Rice. And if you are in a solid position where you have wide receivers to put into your lineup, it goes into this whole thing. But
Yeah.
essentially, if the team that has Rice is 0-2, they're going to be more likely to spend on something that's not as good, like a Jacoby Myers for Rasheed
Okay.
Rice. Someone like isn't top tier, but is far worse than Rasheed Rice, but
Yeah.
they need to get a win on their team, so they're going to settle. And so that's what I would be targeting if I'm any fantasy manager is if I'm in a good spot, if I'm 2-0, I'm looking good for the next 4 weeks, I'm picking up Rasheed Rice in any league that I'm in.
All right. Well, as someone who is 0-2 as a fantasy manager, I don't have Rasheed Rice, so that sucks for me.
Your team just sucks then.
Yeah, it's true. I drafted Kyler too early, man. It bit me in the butt. I drafted the number one receiver, Terry McLaurin, and I drafted number one receiver Mike Evans. And guess what? Apparently those guys just aren't number one receivers anymore. They've been number one receivers on their teams for the last like 4 seasons, but apparently this year, um, they're just not number one guys anymore. So got
I'm
snake
in
bitten.
I'm in too many leagues to that I want to admit, but I am
Oh,
happy to
there's
say that I did not pick Terry McLaurin one time because I did not trust him one bit. So
well, I wish
that's
you
my
had given
little
me.
yep, a little smarter than Kev. That's all I want to say.
That's right. That's right. That's all right though. So that's our NFL. That's our NFL preview for this week. We'll be with you guys next week, hopefully early in the week to break down the games when they're more relevant. But let's look ahead to some college football. At JK Sports, we're an everything podcast. If it's happening in the sports world, and honestly, even not in the sports world, like we can talk about it. If we want to talk about Stephon Diggs and Nicki Minaj having a baby, I don't know why we would, but if we want to, we will. But yeah, last weekend was a crazy weekend of college football, but this weekend, not as sexy. No Georgia, Tennessee on the schedule, but there's a lot of good games. Jack, what's a game that stands out to you?
Honestly, the one that and this is really the only one that's massively I guess I got two, but the first one's Ole Miss Tulane. If you guys looked at our last podcast, I said Tulane was going to be the G5 program coming out for the college football playoffs. And this is what we're going to see. So, if Tulane can even make it close against Ole Miss, an SEC opponent, top 25 team, I'm feeling very confident with that pick still. I'm excited to see
Love it.
Jake Retzloff. I'm excited to see just that whole matchup. So for me, it's can Tulane hold up with the big dogs?
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's super fun. The thing that I love about Tulane and that I've been just waiting for someone to try is a two quarterback system where they're on the field at the same time and where you have one quarterback take the snap and then they do some type of handoff or pitch or toss to the other quarterback and then he's out there and maybe he's going to throw it. Like they've sprinkled that in a little bit. I think if we ever want to see football truly revolutionized, it's going to be that. Like, could you imagine? And this was always my dream quarterback tandem. If you had Lamar Jackson handing off to Taysom Hill, could you imagine that, Jack? You know,
Dude, Taysom Hill's not a quarterback.
but he's good enough that he's
That's
good enough. He's good enough that if you have him in the zone read, right, and you give him the ball and he's sprinting out, and all of a sudden it's like, oh shoot, that's Taysom Hill. He can actually throw it a little bit. You're telling me that wouldn't be effective?
oh, that'd be sweet.
I
That'd be sweet.
I mean, I think both of those guys have to be like true like running quarterbacks
All right.
to be able to make that work. And obviously, if it was Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson, it would just be too much. But Taysom's The reason why I say Taysom is because he's one of those guys that you could pick up for cheap
That's true.
and actually
That's
feasibly make it work.
right.
But yeah, like I for that reason alone, I love watching Tulane. I love watching them do some of that stuff, so that's been fun. Um, the one of the under the radar matchup, like Ole Miss Tulane is SMU TCU. You like points? Whew. Oh boy, just bet over and just sit back and watch, man. I was looking at the totals. The total for that game's only in the 60s. I think both of these teams could I think we could hit the over by halftime. So,
Mhm.
like, it's that type of game where I think it could be 28-28 at halftime, and it's just a roller coaster ride. And then as far as the storylines, like the big storylines, Auburn, Oklahoma, man, you have Jackson Arnold, who was spit, stomped on, dragged, ran over, and then re-ran over multiple times by Oklahoma last season, coming back, playing at Auburn, coming back to Oklahoma. Like, for him to be able to get revenge on Oklahoma, that would just be beautiful to see. I'd love to see that for him. So definitely rooting for him.
No, that'd be sweet. Yeah, I think this is another big test for Oklahoma too. I mean, I've never been on the Oklahoma hype as of recent years, just because I've never
Yeah.
seen them get over that hump. And
Yep.
so I think this is another good test of can they beat a good team. And so I'm excited for that matchup. And then the last matchup that I'm excited about is the Texas Tech Utah. Just because I mean I'm from Utah. I'm not a
Yeah.
Utah fan, but this is a big game for in the Big 12, and I think whoever wins this game will end up winning the Big 12. Um,
Yeah.
it's super early still. I mean, a lot can change, but if both teams stay healthy, I think whoever wins this game, I think this truly is the Big 12 championship preview.
Yeah. I'm really excited to watch this game because both of these teams have played nobodies. Utah
Mhm.
played UCLA, but UCLA is awful.
They
So that
lost
win,
New Mexico.
yeah, that win means nothing. So I'm really excited because it'll be these teams' first real test, and we'll
Mhm.
see. You know, I would I this game is super interesting, but the way I see it is if Utah's able to run on Texas Tech, they're gonna win by 20. And if Texas Tech is just throwing the ball all over the yard against Utah, they'll win by 20. So I'm not sure if it's gonna be a close game, but if you told me who to pick, I got nothing for you. Like it either of these teams could explode and just wipe the other one off, off the playing field. But
Especially at 10 a.m. That's my
yeah,
big thing, is, like, if it was a night game, I'm picking Utah just because of
right.
the environment, but, I mean, it's 10 a.m. kickoff, like,
Yeah.
it truly is a coin flip in my opinion.
Yeah. And then just a couple other matchups to Michigan's playing without their head coach. So we'll see if Sharon Moore is still the head coach at Michigan after Biff Poggi goes into Lincoln and puts up 50 with Bryce Underwood. I think Sharon Moore's job might be in jeopardy if that's the case. And then Illinois, Indiana. Last season, the narrative was Indiana didn't play anyone, and when they did, they got their doors blown off. And in my opinion, Illinois is a really good team. Luke Altmaier is awesome. He's a stud. He's not like a NFL draft guy, but just in terms of like a college quarterback that you can go to war with, he's 100% in like the top 10 college quarterbacks. So that's a super interesting game. Similar to Texas Tech, Utah, they haven't really been challenged yet this season. So I'm also looking forward to that game.
Mhm.
Yeah. And then since we're just getting this podcast going, we'll do a couple conference previews and then hit some quarterback talk on our way out. Jack, we got the SEC, the Big 10, the Big 12, and the ACC. So let's start with the SEC. Who do you think is going to win the SEC after 4 weeks of college football?
The SEC is literally like a dice throw. I think
Yeah.
there's legitimately 5 to 6 teams that could win the SEC, and
Right.
so My dice ended up landing on LSU. I don't know
Okay.
why. I literally cannot tell you why I chose them. I just think it's their turn to win the SEC. It's as simple as that.
Yeah. I like LSU. They have a defense finally.
Hmm.
But what's unfortunate is Garrett Nussmeier has not looked like the the top 10 pick he's supposed to be. And yeah, so that's been brutal. I'm all in on Bama. The pendulum swung too far one way when they lost to Florida State, and they're nasty, man. They are so nasty. I think the schedule lines up really well for them. And, if they as long as they finish conference play 6-2 and make the SEC championship game, I think they're going to the SEC championship game and I think they're winning.
Wow. Okay.
I know.
So. Do they beat Georgia at Georgia in a week?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's all I needed to hear. 'Cause I was
Yes.
wondering how they were going to be 6-2, but if they're winning that game, then
I
yes, they will be 6-2.
Yeah. They're
So,
winning that game, they're winning Auburn. So
yep.
those were the 2 coin flip games it came down to, and I think they're getting it done.
Wow. So you think they dropped 2 at home?
I mean, I think the minimum they lose in the SEC is 2 games.
Okay.
Like, they could finish with 1 loss, but I'm saying it's the SEC, it's tough.
That's true.
At some point, they're gonna lose. They could possibly lose 2 in the SEC, but we saw it last year. There were teams in the like, Texas and Georgia both made it in. Well, Texas made it in with 1 loss in the SEC, I
Right.
believe, and Georgia made it in with 2. So, if
Mhm.
they come out on the right side of that and make the SEC
Okay.
championship game, that's my pick.
Okay. That's fair. To get to the Big Ten now,
Yeah.
we're going back to back with Ohio State.
Actually, I flipped mine last minute.
Oh, okay.
Oregon.
Audible.
I forgot. I I was just like, Ohio State beat Texas. They look good doing it. But then I was like, hold up, wait a minute, something ain't right. And I was like, there's this team up in the Pacific Northwest that has what looks to be maybe the best quarterback in the country playing quarterback for them. And so and Oregon's just flat out nasty. Like, I think people are off of them because they got blown out by Ohio State last year, but people forget this team went undefeated during the regular season and was, in my opinion, probably the second best team in the country last season, just if you take overall everything that they accomplished. And so, yeah, Oregon's my pick.
I think you switched that last second because your heart wouldn't let you pick Ohio State, but
That's
that's just
true.
me.
That's true. But also my heart it wants Ohio State to be that good so that when we beat them again this year and we win
Okay.
and
Okay.
we've won 5 in a row,
Okay.
we'll
All
be
right.
yeah, it'll
Anyway,
make it that much
didn't
sweeter.
want to bring this back into Michigan Ohio State crap, but
It's
here
always
we are
there.
again. It's inevitable.
We're always in the crap,
Inevitable.
buddy.
Just always beefing for no reason.
All right.
The Big 12, again, I think it's the Texas Tech, Utah, whoever wins that game.
Yeah.
I'm giving it to Utah just because they're on at home. Again, it's a coin flip. So if you ask me next week who's going to win the Big 12, I'll have your answer because I'll know who won this game on Saturday. But for now, I got Utah.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I've been riding with Iowa State so far this season as my pick to win the Big 12, and I was feeling good until Saturday, and they sucked against Arkansas State. So I feel bad about that, but I'm a man of integrity, Jack. And instead of switching to Texas
True.
Tech, I'm staying with Iowa State.
Respect, full respect to that.
Yeah.
Last one, the ACC. Who you got?
Miami.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
I I have been anti Carson Beck for years. Years. But Man, the man is making me eat my words. He's an incredible football player when he has good receivers. If he has Brock Bowers and Lad McConkey, he's incredible. And guess what? He has Brock Bowers and Lad McConkey type guys this year at Miami, and their defensive line is just it's the best in the country probably. So going with Miami.
That's fair.
What about you?
Um, I don't like Miami. I like Florida State to do what they were supposed to do last year when they
Okay.
went 2-10 or whatever it was.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna pick Florida State. I like them. They beat up on your SEC winners, and
Yep.
they've dominated when they were supposed to dominate. Probably dominate again on Saturday against Kent State, but
Yep.
then ACC play starts. So I like Florida State where they're at. They've taken care of business when they're supposed to, which means they are legit, in my opinion.
Yeah, I will say that if they meet up again, or if they meet up when they meet up at the end of the season, and if they meet up in the ACC championship game, I don't like Mario Cristofrod coaching against Mike Norvell and Gus Malzahn. I do not like that matchup at all, coaching wise. But
We'll
so
see that October 4th.
that scares me. But yeah, I if it wasn't Miami, it would be Florida State.
Yeah,
Happy. I was talking with a brother about it. When Florida football, like the state of Florida, is good at football, man, it just raises the level of college football up so much.
I
Like
love when
it's
Florida's good at
awesome.
football.
Yeah. Yeah, it's so fun. All right. To wrap up our show, we have our final segment, start, bench, and cut. And because we're talking college football, let's go with the three most disappointing humans in college football so far this season. Let's go Cade Klubnik, let's go Arch Manning, and let's go DJ Lagway. Jack, these guys were the most hyped players of all time coming into this season. Everyone said this guy's going to be first round pick in the NFL. For Arch and Klubnik, everyone said that Lagway was going to bring Florida back to prominence. So if you had to start one of these three disappointments, are you, yeah, what are you doing? Are you starting benching and cutting Klubnik,
I
Arch, and
can't
Lagway?
bench all three of them.
I mean,
Uh,
you can
yeah,
try.
I would. I'd go start Jake Retzlaff. Just kidding. Not really. Um,
Julane.
I'd probably start Arch just because I think he's got the most hype, most talent, the most everything. I mean, he's young. He's the youngest
Yeah.
one, I'm pretty sure.
Dude, I'm in lockstep with you. I was hoping you would go in a different direction, but I'm in
Freak.
lockstep with you all the way, man.
Yep.
Like it's Arch.
So I mean, it's got to be Arch, and then I'm benching Klubnik, cutting Lagway, just because. I mean, I've never been a Lagway fan. I've never thought he was that great
Yeah,
to be the star. You know,
right.
I mean, he's thrown 6 picks already.
Yeah, 5 against LSU. He's
Like
it
that's
yeah.
atrocious. And so you got to cut Lagway, but bench Klubnik, and then I mean, I guess start Arch. But I mean, I think Klubnik and Arch are kind of a coin flip. I think I just like Arch better because of the name, I guess. Honestly,
Yeah. I I'm right there with you. Like I don't know why he can't throw a football. Like, he wasn't great last year when he played, but his his arm strength looked a heck of a lot better last year than it does right now. So I don't know if he's just got like the yips or something, and all the pressure is like just like making him. I mean, athletes deal with pressure differently, and so he's got to be seen like the best sports psychologist in the country right now. But
that's
if he can get right mentally, I think he's fine. Like I don't know if after what we've seen so far if he's like this generational prospect, but yeah, I would start him. I I would bench Lagway and cut Klubnik. Here's the thing with Klubnik, like Lagways definitely can raise your program, and I think Klubnik is just like he has to you have to set the table, cut his food, and then like maybe, just maybe he'll be able to take the fork, stick it in the meat, and then put it in his mouth. Like he needs so much help from coaching, skill talent, everything. Like,
Mhm.
yeah. So I
That's
would go with
fair.
Lagway because of that. But honestly, I wouldn't take any of these guys, man. They're it's looking bad for all three.
Yeah. I mean, I'm looking at all their one thing that I love to look at is like completion percentage because
Yeah.
I mean yards doesn't tell the whole story. I mean, I guess completion percentage doesn't always tell the full story because of drop passes and whatnot. But
Right.
Arch Manning has a 55% completion rate, which is atrocious against Ohio State, but then two
Yeah.
terrible teams.
Yeah.
And so, and then it's Klubnik at 59,
Yeah.
Lagway at 71.
Mhm.
But Lagway's also thrown 6 picks.
Yeah.
While the other two have thrown 3. So, I mean, it's just whatever you want to look at the most. I probably value more taking care of the ball, which is why I would cut Lagway
Yeah.
rather than the other two. But I mean, like you said, they are underperforming to the next level right now.
Yeah, it's just a from picking from all 3, there's nothing nice and pretty about any of them right now. But I do agree, I think Arch is the one most likely to recover and bounce back to somewhat, for what he was hyped to be.
Mhm.
Alright, and let's get out of here, Jack. It's late Utah time. We both gotta wake up. I know you're hanging on by a thread, so
Barely,
let's
barely keeping those eyes up.
yeah, let's get out of here. Thanks for watching JK Sports. Listen to it. We're on all podcast platforms. Follow us on social media. We're gonna start putting out content there,
Mm.
and we'll see you guys hopefully sometime soon to recap of what's gonna be a great week of college football in the NFL. So see ya.